Hey everyone, welcome to my next video. Today I'm going to show you how to turn any of your bubble pages into a PDF file. So there is two basic options. You can download the page as a PDF. I just clicked on download as PDF. The file has been downloaded and you see the PDF file on my computer. And there is another option, send PDF in email. I'm going to go to my Gmail account. And you see two links in here. I'm gonna get into the details. What's the difference between this and this nice clean link? Invoice here, and you see the invoice has been downloaded. Probably I can download this from here as well. Yeah, I can do. So we got bubble page to PDF converter. This is beautiful plugin by Zeroqode again. I'm going to click install and as you see, I already have the invoice on a page in one group. I'm gonna call it group invoice. All right, and I'm gonna have to bring converter to PDF on a page. Maybe I'll drop it on a page. A class. Probably you can push it anywhere you want. And one thing you have to do is file uploads enabled should be yes. And from here you can basically define the limitation to the file size. And now as you see, I've got two buttons, send PDF in email and download as PDF. Now let's get into the details of the workflow. You go to element actions and you're gonna see generate PDF, a converter to PDF. And here is the property editor. And we're gonna go into the very details of how to modify the individual fields in the property editor. First field in the property editor is element. I'm gonna get back to this one. Essentially, it allows you to have multiple PDF converters on a page, and it will allow you to turn parts of the page into the PDF file. So convert target, there is only three options: current page with floating groups, current page without floating groups. This is, I think, pretty straightforward. If you choose this, floating groups will not be printed, and if you choose this, floating groups also will be printed. And then you've got single element. I don't have any floating groups on a page, so we're good. And I just want to make sure autosave is checked. Yeah, so this allows you to download the file. And I think we're good. Let me just preview this page. All right, download as PDF. Okay. And you see this has downloaded and there is like two more pages. What I'm gonna do now is, instead of current page, I'm gonna do single element, and ID of this single element will be invoice. And now I'm gonna go to the design, and this group, wherever I have the invoice, I'm going to assign ID attribute called invoice. So you gotta make sure this ID is exactly the same as whatever we have in the workflow. And also, if you do not know how to enable this ID attributes, is you go to settings, then you go to general, expose the option to add an ID attribute to HTML elements, and you just check this. One more thing that I want to add actually is that output file name invoice. And well, this is pretty straightforward, right? So whatever you can make this even dynamic, whatever you want file's name to be, and ID is there. So I think we're good to demonstrate this one. Download as PDF, invoice.pdf. I'm gonna open it up, and you see the difference. It's just one invoice. It looks nice, no extra pages. One thing that I see is send PDF in email and download as PDF buttons are visible, which I don't want to. What I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna go to the property editor in the workflow, and I'll say ignore the elements ID. So just like I gave ID to the group that I wanted to print, I'm gonna give IDs to elements on a page that I do not want to be included in the PDF file. I'm gonna call it ignore. Go down in the editor and assign the ID ignore to both buttons. Let's preview. All right. And as you can see, there are no buttons in the PDF file. I'm going to create a new workflow for the send PDF in email button. And I'm going to do the same thing. Element actions, generate PDF. I want single element, ID is invoice. Output file name invoice. Uncheck calculate scale from custom format. Upload file to AWS. That's what we need, because for anybody to be able to preview the file, this file needs to be hosted somewhere on the server. So we need to upload file to AWS, but we do not have the need to download the file as PDF when send an email is clicked. And I think we're good. Ignore elements, ignore. And I think we're good. We can now send email to myself. Sender name bestbubbldev. Subject invoice. Body hey bestbubbldev. Here is this month's invoice for you. And in here, we're going to have two texts basically, and I'm going to explain why. Native URL. And then we're going to have clean URL. Native URL will be insert dynamic data, convert PDF file as output file URL. And clean URL will be invoice. And I'm going to go to rich text editor, highlight invoice, make it this be a link. I'm not funded by abc.xyz by the way. Invoice, and now in the URL I'm gonna make this be dynamic, converted PDF as file URL. One more thing that I want to show you is that you can attach the file and send this file as an attachment. So convert to PDF is output file URL. All right, we're ready to preview, but be ready to be disappointed. So I'm gonna click send PDF in email. I'm gonna check my inbox. Hey bestbubbldev, here is this month's invoice, but native URL is empty, there is no attachment, and probably this invoice, yeah, this invoice doesn't exist either. So the problem with this that we have is before the generation is finished, email is sent. So we do not have the PDF file yet while the email is sent. I can do like only when, but it doesn't allow me to do result of step 1 or something like that. This is just like how Bubble is set up. It's not the fault of the plugin in this specific case. What I could do probably is add pause before next action. Let's do like 2 seconds. But obviously this is not the good choice. I'm gonna show you what's the best choice. There is only reason why I'm doing this right now is that I want to show you that there is multiple ways of doing this particular sending email feature. We've got new email. Is it still empty? It's still empty, you know? So even the 2 seconds is not enough. So what you're gonna do in this specific case is we've got specific part here. A converter to PDF uploading to AWS is finished. Converter to PDF converting is finished. So in this case, we need AWS is finished. So when this happens, when the file is uploaded to AWS, we're gonna send an email then. Okay. So in this case, we do not need send email. We can just convert the file. So one more thing that I want to touch is this button, download as PDF, only downloads the file. I have upload file to AWS unchecked. If I check this, it means this button, this workflow, will do both. Will initiate the file download, and at the same time it will upload the file to the AWS. And when this happens, this will be triggered. So be careful when you implement something like this. Just have these workflows in mind, how they interact with each other, and so on and so forth. The only reason why I'm doing the workflows the way I'm doing is just to show you how the plugin works. The way I'm implementing might not be the most optimal. What I'm doing is just to show you what this plugin can do. This being said, let's keep going, right? So when the send PDF is clicked, I'm going to generate the file, and I'm going to make sure I'm not downloading. That's cool. And I'm uploading the file to AWS. And when file is uploaded to AWS, it will send an email. Right now, we're good to refresh the page and initiate send PDF in email. I'm going to click on this. Okay. And I think everything's working fine. I'm going to go ahead and check my email. I just got the new email, and see, I got it, and this is what I wanted to show you. If you do not use the clean URL way of rich text editor, you're gonna get this type of URL. So you always wanna get into the rich text editor and go like extra step to make it nice. And as you see, here is the PDF. As you see, invoice is also a nice PDF. But we have one tiny problem. I'm not sure whether it's my computer. Well, actually, I'm sure. This is not my computer's fault. It's how Bubble sends the files via email. If anybody else has this solution to this, please let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, you're going to see invoice doesn't open up. But the moment I add this PDF extension, this file turns into PDF and it works just fine. A solution or a quick fix to this issue is renaming the file name. So instead of invoice, I'm going to call it invoice.pdf. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page. And once the page is loaded, I'm going to send PDF in email. And as you can see, the file is attached to the email as a PDF file. So it works just fine. So this is how you send PDF files via email. So orientation is pretty straightforward, whether it's landscape or portrait. We've all experienced, like we have some experience with PDFs, right? Like printing them, sending them as emails. So it doesn't need, you don't need me to kind of demonstrate what's the difference, right? Then you've got units. It's inches, points, millimeters, centimeters, pixels. To be honest, I've never experienced anything like, I've never printed anything like in inches or points. For basic software as a service or stuff that we do, like most of the Bubble devs, we can use pixels for sending invoices, for sending reports, so on and so forth. And format is also pretty straightforward. A4 is regular format, and let's just show you a 0, for example. This would be download as PDF. Right, so this is a 0, and I think this is a 4. So you see the difference, right? Then we've got custom format. This is actually very interesting. What you have to do is you have to enter your specific size, which you want to do, like width and height. I'm gonna do, just like in the example, I'm going to do 960 by 1080. And then to do this, I'm going to have to check calculate scale from custom format. And I think nothing else needs to be modified in here. Yep, all good. I'm gonna preview the page and download the file as PDF. Boom, open this up. Yep, so now you see it's not, it's like 960 by 1080. So this was A0 and this was our regular, our regular A4 was this one, right? So now you compare, right? This is custom format. Left, well, direction of text is left to right and right to left. This is regarding just the repeating group, I think, because that's the only difference that I can see, to be honest. So right now all of my texts are from left to right, and when I download as PDF, all the dynamic texts become right to left, like hours of bubble consulting, subtotal, semicolons. So yeah, just try to play with it, experiment with it, left to right. And what I wanted to show you, header and footer. Well, I went to ChatGPT and I asked to generate the header for the PDF file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do the footer as well, and I'll make sure it says footer and the class should be footer. And let me download the file. Download as PDF. Invoice. There is a header and there is a footer as well. So you could do that. You could do something like, I'll paste this inside the header, or it could have been a footer pretty successfully. And I'm gonna download it as PDF, and you're gonna see if in the case if I had multiple pages, I could have header and it would say what page I'm on. Actually, I can still do it if I go up, and instead of single element, I'm gonna do current page. And if you remember from the beginning of this video, when you print the page, it prints some extra empty screens as well, because of the, I guess, the width of the page that I have and how my page is arranged. So I'm going to click on download as PDF, and we're going to see the invoice is going to have pages numbered. Well, headings is pretty straightforward. Beginning of this video, I wanted to address this element thing. Let's do this. It will print the current page, and without ID, or I'm gonna do current page, and what I'm gonna do is drop another converter element, which is going to be converter B, and I'll change this to download invoice, and this will be download a page, and download, when this is clicked, I'm gonna make sure it auto saves, and it has single element and it downloads invoice, and this one downloads the whole page. Oh, I forgot to make sure this is not converter PDF A, but this is converter PDF B. So let me just refresh to make sure changes have been made. All right, download invoice, and once it's downloaded, then I'm going to download the page. All right, so we've got current page and invoice. So this is how current page looks like, and this is how invoice looks like. So now you know what's the difference between the, well, single page and the current page, but at the same time now you understand that you can use multiple converters on one page. Very important feature of this plugin is Pagebreak Ids. It allows you to print individual elements on individual pages inside the PDF file. So let me demonstrate. For example, right now we've got repeating group that displays the items inside the invoice. Item, current sales index. So that when the items are displayed, it will be item 1, item 2, item 3. And you know what? I'm going to remove this one. So it will be item 1, item 2, item 3. And for this specific example, I know for sure that I'm going to have only 3 items. So I think it's worth mentioning that you cannot convert anything into PDF if it's not displayed on a page. So imagine if you have 10 items on a page displayed inside the repeating group. However, generally speaking, in that data type, you've got 100 things in the database. You cannot turn 100 things into the PDF file. You can turn only 10, which is on the page. Here, let's go to Zeroqode's website documentation, and I just want to show you this one. Please note this plugin doesn't convert the page element which is placed on another page. It works only with the content currently loaded on the page. Let's get back to our example. So we've got item 1, item 2, item 3, and what I'm going to do now is go to the workflow of download invoice. So we're going to print a single element, and that single element will be the invoice. And Pagebreak Ids will be item 1, item 2, item 3. Let's download. Download invoice. And as you can see, it has worked. However, the UI is not pretty good because we do not have any mean width on this group specifically, so it kind of collapses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it fixed width, and I'm going to make it 100%. So this will always go 100% on the page. And I'm going to preview this again. Download invoice. Open it up. 4 hours of bubble consulting, $400. Next page and next page. What you could also do is the following. I think this group has already an ID of company. Okay, now so I'm gonna give it a company as an ID, and I'll go to the workflow and add a company in here. So not sure if this particular, like printing the invoice, is a great example for this specific case, but I hope you will understand the point of it. So the first page prints the company, and on the next page I've got item 1, item 2, item 3. Alright, let's discuss a case where you want to allow your users to preview the PDF file before they take any action, whether it's sending an email or downloading the file. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to create another button called preview file. Alright, and I'm going to start a workflow. And before I do that, actually, I'm going to add pop-up. Pop-up preview. I want to change its background to, let's say, 40. Alright, I'm going to switch the container layout to be column. Let's do 900. And let's do 80% for the sake of this example. And then one more thing that we need is plugin called iframe magic. Actually, iframe magic is the plugin that I'm using, but you could use any type of plugin that allows you to display iframes or display websites inside an iframe. So we've got the iframe element, and I'm going to drop it inside the pop-up. And the width is going to be unlimited, and height also unlimited. And the website will be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this pop-up a custom state, PDF URL, which is going to be text. Probably I could do this custom state on a iframe element itself, but I don't know. That's how I kind of go. I prefer to do it like the way I have just done. And pop-up previews, PDF URL. All right, we're good on the pop-up side. And now when I click on preview file, I want to first convert the element into a PDF file. Single element will be invoice. Just in case you don't remember, I've got this group and its ID is invoice. So I'm going to be turning this group into the PDF, and I'm going to ignoring the group that includes buttons. So ignore ID is this, output file name invoice. So upload file to AWS, yes, and autosave PDF, no. So we do not want to download the file when the preview button is clicked. So what we're gonna do now is, I think we're good here. And when converter to PDF uploading to AWS is finished, there is a couple of things that I want to do. Yeah, so we do not need to send an email. So current date and time is empty. I can delete this, I just do not want to delete it for now. Number one thing, what I want to do is I want to set state of an element of pop-up previews URL to this convert PDF file URL, and then show an element which is pop-up preview. I think we're good. Let's give it a test and see if it's good. All right, here is the invoice, and now what we're seeing right here is the pop-up. So if I wanted to, in terms of design, I could add buttons of send an email or download PDF in here. I guess I can download the file here as well. Yeah. Yep, it works just fine. And this is it for the preview. And as you see, there is some time between when I clicked on a button and when the pop-up showed up, because it takes time to convert the element into PDF, then uploading it to AWS and getting the URL. So I'm going to show you how to add loading screens to your user experience so that your users understand that app is working and it's in progress. So in order to add the loading page, we're going to have to do some stuff on the front end. Number one, what I'm going to do is move step 3 of open the pop-up to as a step 2 to the workflow which we trigger by the clicking on a preview file button. So you're gonna see when I click on preview, the pop-up will show right away. However, it's gonna be empty because obviously we do not have the URL yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this iframe collapse when hidden, and when pop-up previews CS PDF URL is not empty, this element is visible. And for now, I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to use icon. Obviously, you can use a bunch of different ways or a bunch of different types of screens. What do you want to display? I'm going to just go with the simplest one. We've got a circle in here, and I'm gonna make this icon rotate, and I'll push it to here, and I'm gonna say this icon collapse when hidden, and when when pop-up previews CS PDF URL is empty, this element should be visible. Let me just double check. This is when it's not empty, this is when it's empty. Okay, we are good. Okay, I'm gonna click on preview. All right, I think that's nice. So don't forget, this was a tutorial about Zerocode's perfect plugin called Bubble Page to PDF Converter plugin for Bubble. And you can find its documentation on docs.zerocode.com plugins. I'm going to share both links underneath this YouTube video. And also, this is my channel, Best Bubble Developer. Please go ahead and subscribe. It helps me a lot. And see you in the next video.